All right, what is up, everyone? Divine Hood here. So, on the last video that I made, which was a few days ago, I think it was on Friday or Thursday, Bitcoin, I was showing you guys this channel here that Bitcoin was in, this descending channel, and we could pull this one of two ways. We could have pulled it to this low, which I've had it at, or we could have pulled it to this low here, and we were in this descending channel, but we were still showing signs of strength because Bitcoin was able to hold this double bottom here, and we were pumping up, and we are just kind of slowly moving up on Friday through the weekend. Actually, I believe on Friday, I'm going to zoom in onto the 12-minute chart or 15-minute chart here. We had broken out of this channel here, and then we back tested it to the dollar, and we started pumping. So I said Bitcoin showing strength, we might range for the weekend and then continue higher, and the correction might have been over. That $10,000 flash crash we saw might have been what we see for that correction of the video I posted a couple videos ago, this big wick to the downside here. So Bitcoin did end up ranging for most of the weekend, and in the last video I made, I said we could come back down one more time to kind of back test the channel on a higher time frame, flip it to support, and then continue higher. And that's pretty much exactly what we did. We did front run it a couple, just a little bit, which is a little bit discouraging, but we got the back test, we confirmed the flip, we confirmed the breakout, and we pumped up pretty good here. We're pumping up to another major key level. Now that we broke the all-time high, and the all-time high now, we need to look the prior all-time high. We need to look for that to hold as support. So if we can hold that as support, or even just this value area high of this range that we can see here, if we form this range over the last few days, if we hold the value area high where these last few prior highs are, flip that to support, we can continue higher. One of the things I want to show you guys is this major fib channel that I've been showing. So I'm going to go ahead and hide this channel here that I just showed you the breakout on, and I'm going to go on to higher time frames. Let's go to the daily chart here. You can see that this fib channel that I showed you guys, actually I'm going to go with the weekly chart real quick, show you guys from the start here. This channel is pulled based off of this price action way down here at the start of the bull market, and you pull it from the 16K lows to the next major higher low, and then you pull it to the first major high here. And Bitcoin has been highly respecting this channel. When we broke the channel to the upside, I turned it into a fib channel, and we had that rejection at the 1.618. Now, once again, after holding the midline support, pumping through again, we are coming up once again to that 1.618, where we might see another rejection based off of the bearish divergence on the weekly chart. If we can get up to about 113K, I believe it is 112, 113K in the next day or two, say tomorrow 112.5, next day 113K or so, we might see those weekly bearish divergences play out. If we get back up to the 1.618, we'll see a major rejection from the 1.618, come back down to test maybe the value area high of this major range here in the 70s, or we can even just come back down to test the top of this channel again around 87, 86K and see a continuation higher. So this is kind of what I'm looking for here. If we do come up to the top here, hit the top of the 1.618 fib channel, come back down, test the bull market fib channel, the main fib channel as support, hold this for a little while and then continue higher to continue this bull run higher. We do have the weekly bearish divergences. They still haven't confirmed, but they're pretty much confirmed. If we go on the weekly chart here, you can see, this momentum wave is starting to roll over. It's not quite there yet. Money flow is starting to dive down here. So we might see one more high to touch the 1.618 again. Last time we touched it, it really gave us a pretty big rejection here from 74K all the way down to 49K. So if we come up to the 1.618 at 113K, then see these weekly bearish divergences play out, that's a real possibility I'm watching for. But right now, Bitcoin is showing strength, and Bitcoin has broken the prior all-time high and is holding above it. You can also see those last two weekly candles. If I zoom in here on these weekly candles, they're pretty bullish looking candles with big wicks to the downside, but we're closing most of the candle up above those wicks, showing that there's still a lot of strength in Bitcoin. There's still a lot of buyers interested on any dip that we have, and it's just showing me that Bitcoin wants to continue its run. Now, I'm going to go back onto the daily chart and I'm going to go to the total chart. This includes Bitcoin, this includes Ethereum, and all the entire crypto market. And one of the things that I was warning about, and this might be happening and playing out right as we're speaking, this I also talked about in the last video. We had created these kind of triple highs here, and even really a fourth semi high, where we had a lot of liquidity resting above those highs. And I said we might come back up one more time to SFP the triple highs into the upper band of this pitchfork band. And this pitchfork band is a very key pitchfork for the entire liquidity of this bull run. And we might see a sort of continuation of the bearish divergence here. Money flow is still leaving, although now it's starting to come back up on this last day or two. So we might see one little hump here continue. Money flow starts to roll over. So this daily close on today's chart on the total market cap is going to be kind of important, because we might have SFP'd the liquidity from the highs, and then we might start to see a correction down. Right now, Bitcoin is still showing strength though, so we might make it to the upper band. We might hit the top of the upper band, about like 3.75 trillion or so, and then dump. As far as total 3 goes, the altcoin market cap, this excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum, we are holding this lower band of support. And when we did see that dip the other day, we were seeing the altcoins kind of chop around within this band. But on the daily chart, we were holding it. And I talked about this. On the daily chart, we were not able to close a daily candle below this pitchfork band. And finally, it held the support and we pumped up above it. Now we're kind of chopping a little bit above it, but we are holding above it as support. So we might come up to touch the top of the pitchfork around like 1.2 trillion, 1.19 trillion, and then we could see the correction in altcoins as well. And this would kind of align with Bitcoin hitting that 113K fib channel level here. So we're going to see how that plays out over the next couple days. Bitcoin is showing some major strength. One more thing I want to show you guys on another Bitcoin chart is this key pitchfork that we've been in this, like this ascending channel type of price action that we're seeing. I'm going to zoom in on the 2-hour chart here. And I posted this earlier today in the Discord, but we saw us pump above on Thursday this band. It held for a day or two as support. We pumped up above it. And then on Saturday, we came back down. We tested the bottom of the band. We held the bottom of the band. We were able to pump back up. Let me zoom in a little bit more here. I'm going to go on 30-minute chart here. So we tested the bottom band. We held the bottom band. We came back, pumped above it, came back for another back test of the band, held the band, and then we had the explosion to the top side here. We even were able to flip this midline, which this midline was in perfect confluence with the prior all-time high. So I was thinking we might get a rejection there, but we busted right through it, which is a really big strength, a sign of strength for Bitcoin. We busted it back above it, and now we're trying to back test it to flip it to support, to see if this is going to flip to support. And this is happening pretty much as we're speaking right now. So we saw the pump up here. We're trying to hold this, flip this to support. If we can flip this to support, we'll at least continue, in my opinion, up to like 107 to 108, 9K to the next level of this band. And then we can even continue higher to that 113K, which is pretty closely aligning with the top of this pitchfork as well. We might see a wick past this pitchfork to the 113K and then close the daily within this pitchfork. And then Bitcoin might see a little bit bigger of a correction, or at least a drop back down to those prior highs around 95, 100K to flip that to support. So yeah, Bitcoin's showing some pretty good strength, and so are altcoins. We had some really big recoveries on some altcoins here. Avalanche had a really big recovery. We're still kind of chopping in this band here on Avalanche, which I've been posting about this in the channel for altcoins here. But we saw the big reversal when Bitcoin decided to reverse. We saw pretty explosive price action to the upside on some of these altcoins, and then Aptos was another one that I was watching. So AVAX got a really strong recovery. Aptos got a really strong recovery as well. Let me get rid of some of this stuff for you guys. And on Aptos, we're holding above this bigger range here. We might see something. We might see a push up to the top of the channel of this daily channel around like $16 or so. And then we might see the correction on Aptos. Right now, everything's showing strength still. We're breaking resistances. We're flipping these resistances to support. And Bitcoin's looking strong. So tomorrow, when markets open tomorrow, what I expect with Bitcoin is if we can tonight hold above that pitchfork midline and hold above these prior all-time highs, maybe start to form a range overnight till New York Open opens tomorrow and then continue higher. We are starting to see some bearish divergences on some time frames, but really Bitcoin is still showing strength, and it looks like crypto wants to keep going higher. So let's see where this goes. Just a short update for you guys. Hope this helps. Let me know if you guys want me to start covering more altcoins, and also I'm going to post some more videos very soon on some altcoins here and just tutorials on pitchforks and channels. One more thing I want to show you guys real quick with this channel here. So if we take a new channel that looks like we're in here, if we take the high here after the last parabolic move up, we take it to the old all-time high, and then we bring it down to the lows here, or actually I like this low better here. You can see this is a pretty well respected ascending channel that Bitcoin's been chopping in. And once we were able to hold this midline here earlier today, we had that really parabolic move up over the past few hours, of a day or two actually. So we might see even tonight, if we hold this pitchfork midline tonight, we might come up to the top of this band here, which is also in alignment with the top of this channel. Then we could see the correction down to the midline or down to the bottom of the channel, which would be also in confluence with this range here. If we take a volume pull from this range here, you could pull the volume either like this, or you could just go from this high here where we start to form some more horizontal price action. The POC is pretty much the same. So the POC is around 98.5. We could see something like come up to the top here, hit this. That would also hit into the upper pitchfork band, come down over the weekend. By that time, it'd be aligning with the POC and the bottom of the channel, and then we can continue higher to that 113K. So yeah, Bitcoin's looking strong. This correction is not really wanting to start yet on the weekly. I do think with these weekly bearish divergences, every time we have seen them, we have seen at least some sort of downward movement, usually about 20% or so. Bitcoin is still showing strength. We're just going to continue trading the trend until it changes. But we should be looking for shorts with proper risk management at proper key levels to hedge against our longs. Hope this helps. Let me know if you guys want me to cover anything in particular.